What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Cage My IQ. I'm your host, Cage. Joining me is Bellator middleweight top 10 contender, Aaron Jeffery. How's it going, Aaron?
Good, man. How are you?
I am good. We got a lot to talk about, especially after your short-term win over Austin Vanderford, taking it, I believe, on, what was it, 8 days' notice?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
How did that come about? Did you guys contact a Bellator, or did they contact you? Because I know you had just fought 6 weeks before then in your debut against Fabio Aguilar.
Yeah. So the guy that was supposed to fight Vanderford, Anthony Adams, he's actually under the same management as me.
Yeah,
So we kind of had like an inside scoop when he was injured, and they asked me if I wanted to fight, and I said yes. So they put my name in right away.
yeah, which is crazy because at the time, I don't know how Bellator. They've been kind of weird with how they book. Adams is ranked number 10 at the time, and of course Vanderford was two, and then you were unranked. So
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of weird situation, but it was good for you because for you it's you have nothing to worry about because you're already unranked. So it's like a low risk, high reward for you. Where for him it
Exactly.
was high risk, low reward.
Exactly.
Now, was there anything that you saw in that 8 days with him that you felt like you were comfortable taking the fight? Because I know like usually with like 3-4 months you go in there, you usually have like a routine that you try and follow. You look at what he does as a fighter and then you game plan for it. But with 8 days, does that change?
So yeah, the reason I was very comfortable with this fight is because he's obviously a very good wrestler. That's usually his game plan, right? He takes guys down, he beats them up. I'm very confident in my defensive wrestling. It's not something that I felt like I needed to game plan for, to put in tons of reps, or like very specific training. This is something that I do all the time. So I think it was a good fight for me for short notice.
Now, was it like a plus for you that you were basically just coming off of a win? So you were kind of already on a high. You already had a lot of training for that fight because I believe you had like 4 months between fights from the contender series. I mean, from the CFFC title bout until your debut. Uh, did you still feel good, or was it a thing where you just needed to make sure that you were just staying in shape after that fight?
Yeah, I don't really I don't get out of shape much, man. Like I don't even say in camp. I'm just training year round. Like I don't really take tons of time out of the gym. Like after a fight, I'll take a week or maybe not even maybe like 5 days. So no, I could do that, man, at any time of year. And my weight's always good, so I think any weekend of the year I can make weight and be ready to fight.
Is it true that you like went to school to be a nutritionist? And was that a thing where you felt like it was best for you and known that you were trained in MMA, or did you start in nutrition and then decide to take up MMA as a hobby or like an occupation?
So I trained a little bit of MMA while I was in high school, just at like a local like shitty gym, like some cardio kickboxing and like kind of rolling around. Nothing serious at all. And when I went to university, I was studying medical sciences, and that's when I got more serious into MMA. So it kind of happened almost simultaneously.
I bet, and then it works out perfectly for you because being a fighter that needs to keep your weight fluctuated to a certain point, it helps you a lot knowing what you need to eat, what helps your body healthy wise and energy wise, so you can be cardio wise at tip top shape.
Exactly. Yeah, it's perfect. Again, like my weight's always good. My weight cut, it's down to a science, and like I said, I could make weight pretty much any weekend of the year and be ready for a fight.
How did you feel your regional scene went for you? Because you did it for like a few years. I know you started as a pro in 2014. You kind of worked your way around Ontario. Then I know you did the one fight in CFFC against, I believe it was Sean Brady.
Hmm.
And then you rotated back around the regional scene again. You did that SFT fight, and then you did that one LFA fight, which you got that big win against Andre Petrosky, who is right now on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC and making waves. Then you did that second, you did the 2 Contender Series fights against guys that are ranked right now in the UFC. And then you came back around and did this the fight against Harris where you won the title. How did you feel like you progressed as a fighter from the first pro fight to that last fight against Harris before you jumped to Bellator?
Yeah, kind of what you just said there. It's been a long road, man. I've been all over the place. Not many fights in Canada, so like a lot of traveling. A lot of those fights, I'm driving like 6, 7, 8 hours to get down to the fights. So yeah, it was kind of like a long, crazy path. Obviously, it all worked now. Like hindsight's 2020. It's easy to say it was all for the best, but I mean, at the time, obviously, setbacks on the Contender Series fights were tough. But yeah, I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. So it definitely worked out.
How quick did it take you after those Contender Series fights to kind of get back in the gym, see what you did wrong, to make tweaks? Because after both of those fights, you went on 4-fight win streaks afterwards, and it seemed like you got back on a roll, especially after the last one against Kai Barao. You came in, to me, you barely lost that one. But since then, boom, you won that championship fight, and then you've won your first 2 fights in Bellator. It seems like you've had like extra motivation. And I don't know if it's because UFC kind of didn't see anything in you, and then Bellator came in and signed you, or if it was just your drive that you wanted to become the best fighter that you can be.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. I'm always training to be the best fighter that I can be. I don't even think it's necessarily more motivation after those fights. Sometimes that's just how it works out, man. Like if I would have won those fights, everyone would have said I'm still on the tear. Unfortunately, I lose the 2 big fights and then I win a bunch afterwards. So it looks like I was more motivated or some different drive. But no, it's always the same, man. I'm always training as hard as I can and just trying to be the best fighter that I can be.
Now, how long after that Rex Harris fight did it take for Bellator to contact you? And what was your reaction to them? Did you want to like just go fight right away, or did they have like a set thing where they wanted you to fight, and then you just said okay?
I think it was probably 2 or 3 weeks after the Rex Harris fight is when we got the contract. And no, I definitely wanted to fight soon. It's like my first real big money contract that I ever signed, so I was kind of excited to get some money in the bank and fight. But it took a little while, but again, everything worked out, and I'm very happy with where I'm at right now.
Now, going back to the Vanderford fight, I was shocked as everybody else was at how quick you were able to get the finish, because watching the tape, you threw that fake with the left, and then he came over with the looping right shot, and it seemed like he had like he kind of blocked it a little bit, but then you still caught like the side of the ear of him, and then he just dropped. Did that shock you at all that you were able to drop him with that shot?
Not necessarily that shot, because it is one that I land often in training and in
Yeah.
fights. I actually just posted a little Instagram clip today. You can see a couple other fights where I've dropped guys with that shot. So not necessarily surprised with like the type of punch that it was, just with how quick it was. I thought it was going to be a grind. I thought I was going to fight this guy hard for 15 minutes. I thought we were going to wrestle. I thought I was going to have to like work my way up. But obviously very happy with a quick finish and a quick knockout like that.
Yeah, because it allows you didn't take too much damage. It was quick. It allows you to basically come back and try and get a fight as soon as possible instead of waiting, uh, fighting a grueling fight, which you thought you were expecting, where you guys were going to wrestle, try to defend the takedowns, and then use like the striking as like a backup. That's what I was expecting, but you got him out right away. It seems like in Bellator, your power has been on like showcased a lot, because you got the finish in the Fabio fight with your punches and knees in round 2, and then you get the right hook, and then the finish in this one. And afterwards, I wasn't expecting you to jump as high up. Like, I was expecting maybe like you were going to get an 8-9, but they shot you all the way up to 6, which is great. And what are you
Yeah.
expecting now? Because like looking at the rankings, you got Eblin Musasi up there. I can only imagine that they're going to look to book a rematch there because of the name of Musasi and how like he lost. But then like you got two guys in Edwards and Sartre. I feel like you could fight, but then seeing that Edwards is taking a fight with the non-ranked Ward, I see that fight with Sartre as a possible landing spot for you in that move up. How do you feel about the possibility of fighting a guy like him?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential big fights there. It could be pretty much anyone in the top 10, right? Like you said, Vanderford was scheduled to fight Anthony Adams, who was ranked like
Yeah.
number 9 or number 10. So I think there's like anyone in that list of guys that I could be fighting next. So yeah, it's pretty exciting, and there's a lot of big fights there.
And I think after the two fights that you just had, you earned the chance to fight up again because you took that fight on 8 days' notice after winning, and you took out at the time the number 2 guy. I feel like you should get a guy in the top 5 instead of fighting back. I think you've earned yourself there. How soon are you ready to go and get another fight booked? Are you ready now, or do you need like a few weeks of training to get into shape? Like I know you said you're always in shape, but I know there's a difference between being in shape and then being in fighting shape.
No, man, I'm good. I mean, if I had a fight offered me for tomorrow night, I could probably make weight and fight tomorrow night. Like I'm ready to go at any point.
Is there any specific card that you might be looking at? I know, like from a couple interviews that you've mentioned, Long Beach. You mentioned right back in Connecticut as another one. Is there any
Mhm.
specific one that you're looking at, or it's just whenever the soonest that you can get in?
Yeah, those two are the most appealing to me, just because they're the only ones in the States. I think they're doing one or two shows maybe over in Europe, which I mean, I would love to go to Europe on a free trip. It
Yeah.
it adds a lot of like complications into a weight cut and a fight and all that stuff, right? So I would love to fight back in the States if possible.
Now, it's going back to your training. Oh, I know you've been training at other gyms. Like you like to, like once you fight a fight, you like to go back and kind of dabble in other gyms. Like you do Vegas, and then I know you do Florida, and then you said that you do a little bit like a week or two at a time there. What made you want to do that after and fight instead of during fight camp? Is it just the freedom of being able to go there and not be strict on anything, or is it just like a routine that you got stuck to early on?
No, it's exactly what you just said. It's like not being stuck to anything, not necessarily having like a specific game plan that I need to be following. Like I don't need to search out specific training partners to mimic my opponent. I can go down there, get a bunch of different looks, work with different guys, see what's working for me and my skill set, see maybe some areas I need to improve, and kind of just have a little bit more fun with everything and not be so like rigid with my training.
I'm pretty sure you saw a couple weeks ago Roy McDonald, a guy that I've heard that you trained under, just retired. How did you feel about his like, whole career as a whole, and then him announcing his retirement at the time? Did you feel like he's done a lot for the business and he should be recognized for it? Do you think that maybe he could have gone a little bit more? Or what was your opinion on the retirement?
Yeah, for sure, man. He's done great things for MMA and Canadian MMA specifically. He's right up there with George St. Pierre as like the all-time great Canadian fighters, right? So yeah, I think a lot of us other Canadian fighters owe a lot to him, definitely. And if he could have gone longer, I don't know, man. That's up to him. Like however his body's feeling, his mind. He's got other things going on in his life. If he thinks it's a good time to retire, then great. And I think he's done a lot of awesome things in the sport. So good for him.
Definitely so. Whenever I think of him, I just picture that Robbie Lawler fight where they just went to war with each other. It's probably one of my favorite fights of all time because they're both bloodied up. like it went back and forth, and I think that's the fight that just made him like a household name there. That's like, and it's a good thing for Canadian fighters is because you have one of your own that is in a fight like that, and it makes other people in Canada want to start training because you see how much money he was able to make and what he was able to do, and it helped grow. I think between him and GSP, it helped grow MMA up north. I'm pretty sure you feel the same way.
For sure, yeah. I mean, watching that fight with Robbie, you could say it made people want to start training, or it scared the shit out of everyone, and all these young kids that thought they wanted to be a fighter or decided, fuck that, that looks way too crazy for me.
Now, the one question I had for you was the mullet. Like, I know, like, you didn't have it for the longest time. What made you want to grow it along with the mustache? Because I think whenever I talk about like you with other people in the MMA community, I just say it's the guy with the mullet, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
I know he is. Like, how long did it take for you to notice that you were like growing it, and then was it something that you wanted to do?
No, it was not something that was planned at all. I just was growing my hair out. It was during COVID. Everyone was growing their hair out because you weren't allowed to see the hairdresser. And I was out of the gym for a bit. My hair got pretty long, and then I got back into the gym, and it was just in my face all the time. And I was tying it up on like this little ponytail on top, and it was just stupid. But I kind of liked having long hair at the same time, so I cut off the top and left the back. And everyone thought it was hilarious, obviously, at the gym. And then I fought my first fight with it, and it was like all the commentary was talking about. So I decided to keep it, and it kind of just became a thing, and it became my thing. And here we are now, a couple of years later, and I still got it.
Do you feel like you need to keep it now because it's like when people, like I said, when people think of you, they think of the mullet, and it gives you that distinction so that you can get more recognition from it? Or is it just like you just like having the hair and like it?
A little bit of both. I do like having it. I like having the long hair, and like I said, it's not in my face because it's short on top. But no, it's definitely recognizable, and people know me for it. So maybe until I'm like super famous, household name, I'll keep it so people know who I am.
Definitely so. So, what is like a typical training week like for you? Is it the same throughout the year, or do you change it up for like a fight camp, or do you try to keep it, like I said, the same routine so you never stray away from what you usually do?
I would say it's pretty standard while I'm at home. Pretty much twice a day, every day. Well, Monday through Friday, I'll train twice a day. Saturdays once, Sundays I'll take off. Um, and it depends like who the opponent is, obviously. Like if I was fighting a heavy wrestler, maybe I do more wrestling practices. If I'm fighting a striker, I'm going to work with better kickboxers and Thai fighters and whatever. And then, yeah, once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, I'm going to go down to a different gym in the States. Last year, I was in Vegas for a while. This year, I've been down to Florida. I'm actually going to head back to Florida next month. And again, that kind of like frees me up from like the rigid schedule. I can go down there, have a bit more fun, train with some different guys, and just kind of like explore my skill set.
Do you do any coaching at all right now, or are you just focused right on training and getting ready for fights? Because I know some guys I've talked to, they like to do both, like train and then coach, and then sometimes they go into their other guys' corners for fights. Do you do any of that at all, or is that something maybe you'll do down the line?
A little bit. So right now at my home gym, I coach 1 practice a week just for the fighters, like not coaching like recreational guys or like just kind of average shows in the gym. It's like just amateur and pro fighters. Maybe, I don't know, not often at all. The coaches will ask me to like fill in for a nighttime session with rec guys and stuff. But no, pretty much just coaching the pro session. And then, yeah, I corner some of the guys occasionally, not too often.
Now, how is it like being at like a home gym, like you said? Like, I'm sure that it's close to your house to where you don't have to go too far. How is it like doing that instead of going to like a huge known gym, like one in Florida, one in Vegas, or somewhere else where you got so many guys there? How is it like with that? Because then, even though you're not getting too much work with the other people, where you, like you said, you like to go over there for 2 weeks at a time and train there, or 2 weeks at a time here. But at the home base, is it a plus for you to get that one-on-one time, or
Yeah.
do you,
Yeah, exactly. At home, I get like one-on-one specific time with my coaches working on what I need to work on. I can work with specific partners. Like I have good wrestling partners. I have good kickboxing partners. I can do my own thing and really work what I want to work. You go to some of these bigger gyms and you get great partners, a lot of high-level guys, but they're huge, right? Like there's,
yeah.
I don't know, there's going to be like 50 or 70 guys in a practice. So you're not exactly going to get a lot of attention. And I'm not one of the guys from the gym, so the coaches aren't super invested in me, right? So I'm kind of on my own down there.
Now, going back into that training, do you ever bring any guys into your gym to like for like a week just to see if they can help you out with your fights, or do you just stick to that one-on-one the whole time?
Um, I've never like brought in like fighters from
Yeah,
like far away or anything like that. I know some guys will like pay specific guys to come in. I've
yeah.
never done anything like that. I have a pretty good crew of guys here, man. Like I have some very high level wrestlers that are like national level wrestlers. A couple of jujitsu black belts that I work with, and a couple of really good kickboxers. So I kind of have everything I need, and then I have the coaches that are invested in me. So I have a good thing going here.
When people talk about Aaron Jeffery, what do you want them to say about you? What type of fighter you are, and how you are? Like now that you're in Belter, what do you want them to know you for?
Well, definitely more than just the mullet, which is all
Yeah,
anyone knows right now. I think I'm a well-rounded fighter, man, and I'm finally starting to show my skill set. Like I said in the last fight, I wanted to show that I know how to wrestle and I could wrestle with like one of the best wrestlers in the division. I think I'll get to show that soon enough. But no, I can strike, I can grapple, I can grind guys out, I can finish guys quickly. Yeah, I think I'm just a well-rounded fighter, and I wanna have people see that.
I'm sure that you still have that notion that you want to make it to the UFC. If you keep on doing well in Bellator, are you still going to pursue trying to get the UFC to notice you and possibly sign you, or are you comfortable right now being in Bellator because you have those two fights that you won? You're basically right outside the top five. You one more fight, and you might be able to challenge for the title. Uh, with you, are you just the one step by step where you want to focus on Bellator now, and then if the UFC comes, it comes, or are you just okay right now where you're at?
Well, I just got a new contract from Bellator. I just signed for
Oh,
6 more fights, and they're treating me very well. And I'm making some decent money, so I'm very happy with Bellator right now.
well, congrats to that. That's great to hear because I feel
Thank you,
like you're
sir.
a fighter that should be locked in and feel comfortable. So that I know with fighters, some of them are too worried about the fight scale and how much they're getting paid, and it takes away kind of from training because you're trying to train, but then worry about being set. Like you don't want to have to think about like some fighters are going on a fight to fight deal. How do you feel about the pay scale for MMA fighters right now? Do you feel that, like in Belcher, that it's been great overall?
Yeah, Bellator, like I said, they've been very good to me, and I'm very happy with the new contract I got. Obviously, MMA as a whole, like we make nothing compared to an NFL player, an MLB player, but
Yeah,
I don't know, man. There's a lot of hate, and you see a lot of fighters like pushing back, but like I don't know. Like I know what I'm getting myself into. I know I'm not
yeah.
going to be a billionaire by being an MMA fighter. I know I'm not probably going to make retirement money. I'm choosing to be in this sport, and I can't be mad at the big guys for making all the money, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't have to be here if I don't want to be, and neither does Paulo Costa or Luke Rockhold. They're not making the money they want to make. They can definitely go do something else. So I don't know. It's a weird topic. Do I wish we all made more money? Yeah, definitely. But again, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
I feel like it's a great thing with the Belcher is doing a lot better. You got PFL who's there now. They have their own specific thing. I think the more options there are, the better it will be for fighters because it allows them to not have to be stuck to one promotion. They can go somewhere else where they might be offered more money. It might be a little different with sponsorship rise, but they're getting more money. I've seen Belcher and PFL do well like paying more, and just the options there is nice to see, because that's what it is. The fighters want more options, so that they don't have to be stuck to one spot. And I think it's been great for just MMA as a whole.
For sure, and a little bit of competition between the promotions, right? Like if
Yeah.
there's a fighter that's unsigned and PFL offers this, and they can let Bellator know this is what PFL offered. Can you match the offer? Can you give me more? Like a little bit of competition between the promotions is good.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of fighters jump into other promotions lately. They just recently had Shane Burgos go from UFC to
Yeah.
PFL. I know a couple of years ago you had Cyborg go from UFC to Bellator. What's his name? You had that Hawaiian fighter go from UFC to Bellator in their featherweight or lightweight division. And you've seen a lot of it now, and they're going for more money, and for the more money and being able to be situated, like with 4 fight deals, 5 fight deals, where they know, okay, now that I got the deal, I can focus just on training. And I've seen the benefits of it with how they've gotten better. And UFC probably has one of the most best competition there with fighter wise, but if you're making money, and that's what you're doing. Like a lot of people are getting into it for as like a job, and they want to do half like money, half that, and then the other half just improvement as a fighter. And I like it as a whole. But to move on from that to just hobby wise, do you find yourself having enough time to gain hobbies or do anything at home to kind of just keep your mind off of the sport? Because I know a lot of you fighters, you do a lot of training, a lot of hours you put into it. Is there any stuff that you do away from the sport to kind of keep your mind off things?
Well, yeah, like you just alluded to, like there's the time factor, which I don't have
Yeah.
very much of because I'm in the gym. But then, dude, my energy is just zapped all the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going for like a 5 mile hike or like a 20 kilometer bike ride after training, man. There's just there's not enough gas in the tank. But no, I don't do a whole lot. I'm a simple man. I like to visit my mom on the weekends. She's got a farm. I come back here, see her, eat some home cooked food. Yeah, just kind of like hang out with family and friends, man. Not a whole lot.
How's your summer been? Because I know that you've been spending time. I think like a week or two ago, you spent time with like your sister. Then I guess
Mhm.
her kids. How was that? How was that being able to do that after your fight?
Yeah, man, the summer has been amazing. Bellator debut, and then another big win. And my family was home, which is rare because my sister lives out west and my brother lives way
Oh
up
yeah.
north. They're both like, I don't know, 20, 25 hours away from here driving. So it's very rare that all the kids are back together, and they were all home for a week, and it was the week right after my fight, man.
Yeah.
So it was perfect timing. It was really nice.
I bet you don't get a lot of time to do that with your family since you train a lot.
Exactly.
I bet. Were they able to catch your fights at all? Did they watch any of it? Were they able to
Yeah.
go?
Yeah, so I think they had a little watch party here at home. Everyone was pretty pumped up about that. The last fight, my debut, it's a funny story actually. My brother was flying down to see it from Thunder Bay, which is way up north.
Okay.
He flew into Toronto and met my mom, and then they had to fly into New Jersey and then drive to Connecticut. They ended up waiting in line for a rental car for like 2 hours, and then the traffic was so bad because you have to drive through New York City. They were in
Yeah.
traffic for like 3 hours, and they got to the Mohegan Sun like 10 minutes after my fight ended. So they
Oh,
they traveled for like, I don't know how long it was, man, like 12 or 15 hours, and they ended up missing my fight.
that sucks. But at least you got to see him, and then I'm sure that they
Yeah,
got to
exactly,
watch like the replay of it and see you
exactly.
afterwards and
And like it sucked
congratulate
at the
you.
time, but now it's just a very funny story.
Yeah, at least you won too. At least you got
Exactly.
to tell them that, oh, you missed it, but I at least won. I
Yeah,
got that debut win under your belt, which is always huge, because I always talk to fighters, and they always say that that first fight is always the most important, because you want to
for
get the
sure.
win out of your belt, because then it's like you're not worried about getting that win. You're just worried about continuing that stretch.
Exactly.
But the last question I have before I let you go is like, how long do you feel like you can continue to do MMA for? Like, I know you're 29 right now. Do you feel like you could do it for a long time? Do you have like, have you ever thought about how long you want to compete for?
I'll do it until the wheels fall off, man. My body's good right now. My brain's good. I don't have any issues as far as training goes. Like I said, I've got a good contract right now. I'm finally making some money. So, yeah, I'm going to do it until the wheels fall off.
Well, thank you, Aaron Jeffery, for coming on the show for me. I'm looking forward to seeing you have another fight booked in the next couple of months. I'm hoping for even October, November, December. Maybe you could get that fourth fight in by the end of 2022 because you've already done 3 fights in the year. That's always a good thing to know that you can. Yeah, because I think that would be the second time you had like a 4-fight stretch in 1 year. And I hope it's a top 5 fight.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Mom's on the phone right beside me. But
No.
yes, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, but you have a wonderful rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you, sir. You too.
You too. Once again, that was Aaron Jeffery, the Mullet Man of Bellator. He is ranked number 6 right now in the promotion. I'm hoping to see him fight in the top 5 in the next couple of months. I will see you guys next time on Cage by IQ. I got another interview lined up in the next week. So tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to me at Cage IQ on Twitter, and I will see you guys next time on another week of Cage by IQ. Thank you guys for tuning in.